friends. I'm Dr. Jenny Doke-Kerns. You can just call me Jenny. I'm going to be working with you this semester on your children's literature course for the summer. So I'm going to take a little bit of time to give you a brief introduction to the class today, point out a few things in the syllabus, and explain a little bit about how some of these things will work. There'll be 8 weeks of class. Not every week will have a video, but many of them will, especially if there's new information. And I just want you to make sure that you know who I am. That way, if you need to reach out to me for any reason at all, that you are comfortable doing so. So for these next few minutes, I'm going to go through week 1 module, I should say, the June 2nd module, and talk a little bit about what's in there. The first thing I'm going to say is you have to respect the fact that this is an 8-week class. It is a 16-week class that is being delivered in 8 weeks. So you literally will have double the work every week. Okay. And as we get into some of the class policies and things like that, you'll see that it's so incredibly important that you stay on top of what we're doing, because in these fast classes like this, if you get behind, you're just it makes it really difficult if you're doing what you're supposed to be doing at the time and trying to make up what you had before. So again, it's always important to stay engaged in your classes, but this one definitely, as we go, we'll go pretty fast. So first of all, I'm going to take a little time to go into the syllabus. I linked in Module 1, but if you're ever looking for the syllabus, if you just go up along the left side of the in Blackboard, you will see it. So it is right there. Let me see here really quickly. So this has information about how to get in contact with me, of course. It notes my office hours, but honestly, I want you guys to know that my office hours are like, I have to have certain hours that I'm on campus, but these online classes, most of you work during the day or you have something going on. So I have no problem with making appointments with you outside of these times. These are just the ones that I have on the calendar. So just so you know. And as many of you already have taken advantage of, I've already gotten lots of notes. You do have an extra credit opportunity early in the semester, and that is to make an appointment with me. We'll make a Zoom appointment. It literally doesn't take, usually they're 5 to 10 minutes long, but it's a way for us to meet each other, and I can learn a little bit about what you're doing this summer as you're taking your class, and in what ways I might be able to help you out and things like that. And it also makes it a lot easier if, say, you do run into some trouble and you want to reach out. It's way easier if you've already talked to the person beforehand. So if we've already met, hopefully it will help you be a little more comfortable when you need to come to me for help, I should say. So, of course, the syllabus has all of the course competencies. I'll let you guys read through those. It is important to make sure that you've read through the syllabus, because this is kind of like the contract between you and me. It's like, I'm telling you that this is what you can expect from me and this is the way it's going to work. And then you're seeing that, okay, this is what I have to work within and all that. So it's really important to make sure you're looking at that. Quick introduction here. I've been at DMAC for 14 years full-time, and was part-time for years before that. I started my own college career at DMAC, and couldn't be happier. Like I said, I'm now Dr. Jenny, so it's a great place to start, and I really, really love the community college model. So went to school here in Central Iowa my whole life, Grandview, Iowa State, PhD at Drake, stuff like that. And I'm very active in the community, and I'm a big music and biking person and all that good stuff. So anyway, that's about me. Okay, one of the things that notes, and this is important, especially for online classes, like what is regular and substantive interaction. I say here, as mentioned, this course is going to go very fast. Failure to engage for even a single week could greatly affect your success. Logging in does not count as attendance or engagement. You must complete assignments and engage in activities in order to be considered active. And we actually have to report to the government if people stop attending the class, because some people, it has to do with student loan fraud or something. So we actually have to go in if somebody just hasn't done anything for a week, we have to report that. So it's really important to make sure you're on top of it. Like I said, especially these really fast classes. Attendance, completion of online work counts as participation in the course. There aren't really a lot of cancellations in the summer, especially for online courses. But something could happen. I will make sure if there is any adjustment, like if materials are coming out late or whatever, that I make an announcement as soon as I know. As far as classroom conduct, your interaction online with your peers and with me, of course, is really your classroom in a situation like this. So we have to understand there'll be times where you guys will be sharing work with one another. You're going to do a discussion board this week. It's really, really important that you engage maturely with other folks, even if they have a different experience set or different priorities than you do. And I expect them to do the same for you. So just be aware of that. Okay, this is important. This is my policy on late assignments, and it is even more important in these short classes. So work must be submitted on time, on or before the due date to get full credit. Weekly classwork. So these can be turned in like 50% for 50% credit. Up to 2 weeks past the due date. So that would be your reading responses, basically everything except your major papers. Drafts can't be turned in late because if we are turning in a draft, we're kind of doing something with it. And yeah, but that's detailed here as well. Major papers, these items can be turned in up to 5 days late. Each day you'll lose 10% on that. No major assignments or unit tests can be accepted more than 5 days late without previous permission from me. And usually that only happens if there's been a major event or there's an accommodation that says different timing is appropriate. But again, there's just really not a long way to push off this work in such a short semester. And the final, of course, cannot be turned in late. So all coursework will be due July 27th. That's the last day that I'll be accepting any coursework, regardless of how close it is to the due date, just because grades are due within just a few days after that. So make sure that you're aware of that. And again, extra credit, you have the opportunity to meet with me, and I'll let you know if anything else comes up that could possibly provide extra credit. The rest of this, I do not want you to be using AI in order to write your papers. I think that should be pretty clear. It's a good place for pre-writing to do some prompts if you're like, oh, what are some things I should keep in mind with this? But ultimately, your work needs to be your own, especially the beginning of the semester. Many of the assignments are kind of reflective in nature. So hopefully it'll be pretty natural for you to talk about your own experience and write about that. The rest of the document has support services information. It has non-discrimination statements. So if you feel like you've been discriminated upon in any way, please take a look at that or reach out. The course schedule is here. Now, the course schedule right now, all those assignments, there could be some small little assignments that go in there, but all of your major assignments are listed there in the end of the syllabus. But there could be weekly things like reading responses that I kind of tweak as we go, so I don't list those exactly. But it is important to know that the grading system is 40% is going to be your participation doing that weekly coursework. 50% is going to be your 5 major papers, reflection 1 on the literature of your childhood, reflection 2 on book ban controversies, then an annotated bibliography. Don't worry if you don't know what that is, you will know soon. And a young adult literature analysis. So then 10% is the final. So it's pretty straightforward as to how that is broken down. So I'm going to go into today's module first right now. And it is a long list of things to do. But good thing to know is I'm also listing a lot of resources there for you. So the list is not as long as it really looks like. Your course syllabus is there. Everything that you turn in this course needs to be in MLA format. So here I have the formatting for the individual paper. Make sure it has your name, my name, the class, the date, and everything that you turn in, okay? And it's best if you turn it in as an attachment online. There's, again, a couple of videos about the importance of children's literature. And then I have a quick writing prompt for you this week. You may not have thought about this, but one of the biggest growing areas of children's literature is video games. There's so many of these stories-based games have created characters. They've created just a huge following, students, kids, adults really, really empathize and relate to these characters, and some of them, there's a lot of really rich storytelling. So talk to me a little bit about your thoughts about the video games as literature. And no, when I say this, it's more like it's story-based video games. So it's not like Angry Birds or Tetris or something. It's more like Zelda or something like that. So The Last of Us, something like that. So yeah, so we're going to have you reflect on video games as literature. Then first, you're going to be writing this week the first draft of your first major reflective essay. And this is about the literature of your childhood. So this is a chance for you to just talk a little bit about what was important to you as you grew up. And then each week you will read 1 or 2 chapters and do a response. So it's chapters 1 and 2 this week. And then lastly, there's an area in there for you to go in and introduce yourself. And I'd like you to go in and introduce yourself in the discussion board by the 8th and try to get back in there before the 10th and do some responses. I already see that there are folks that have gotten in there. I think that's wonderful. And just take a little time. This is a big class. It is actually 2 classes put together. So there are almost 40 students in the class. So it's a good opportunity to kind of see who's there. And sometimes when there are more complex assignments too, I will create a discussion board for that week. That way, if you guys need to go in, if you don't have time to get with me and you just want to ask a general question or get somebody else's opinion on something, there's a place to do that. So that is, those are the highlights of this week. Please, please, please reach out. Like I said, I already have several of you in my email inbox that I need to reply to this morning and set up our chance to chat. So let me know if you have any questions, and I look forward to working with you this semester.